Automotive News have just reported that the Swedish High Court has sided with Tesla in a landmark case against its own government. I've never heard of this kind of thing before, but this is a case where democracy turns very, very sour. And it's a situation that is a warning call. This is what can happen when unions, maybe when they can have a little bit too much power. Tesla has sued the Swedish Transport Agency and the Postal Service, and it's won. It won this case in about a day. If only most legal cases happened this quickly. This is quite an interesting case here. Elon Musk said that what's happening to Tesla in Sweden is insane. And even a lot of people who don't like Elon Musk actually agree with him. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans, you're watching the Electric Viking. Sweden's postal service has refused to deliver mail to Tesla. It's holding Tesla's mail, illegally of course. This includes license plates, and this is part of a growing European strike against Tesla. Is it really a European-wide thing though? Not really. This is the very, very powerful IG metal union in Sweden. And of course, this union has been trying to oppose Tesla in various places, in various ways. It has power in Norway as well, where it's trying to actually get different Norwegian companies and suppliers to not ship products to Tesla. Apparently, there's actually a Norwegian supplier of forged aluminium products that Tesla uses in its EVs, and they are not shipping those parts to Tesla. I think that's probably a mistake for that company. Tesla could just easily switch to the Chinese part supplier and get them from China instead. Probably be cheaper for them. I'm not convinced that that's a good decision for this, private company. It's not a particularly big company. You probably don't want to piss off too many of your customers, otherwise, they go and they don't come back. But anyway, here's what happened. Tesla has sued two state agencies. You'd think if you sue the government, you'd lose, but in this case, no. The reason is their participation in a strike that has started in Tesla service centers. Now, Tesla claims that the actions of the agencies are unprecedented and illegal for government agencies and demands that they allow Tesla to pick up the license plates for their customers. So Tesla just basically said, okay, if you don't want to ship them, can we just drive to the post office or the post, basically the big post location in Sweden where things come on freight? And the government has said, no, you can't. We're not allowing you to pick these things up. To me, this kind of sounds like the kind of thing you would see in maybe China, in a place where there's a dictatorship or a place where the rule of law doesn't really apply. But Sweden? This is quite a surprise to me. Now, I'm not saying that I think that strikes aren't always a good idea. Sometimes they're necessary. And in this case, to be honest, I don't think many people really know the details for what is going on with this strike. It appears to me as though the union, IG Metal, is basically trying to force different companies, not just Tesla, but a number of different companies to unionize. Tesla has resisted it. And possibly an agreement they want to sign to get Tesla to pay more money to staff, and Tesla has not signed that agreement. And they're basically, I think, breaking the law. The court has said they're breaking the law to try to force Tesla to sign these agreements. So the Swedish Transport Agency and the country's leading postal service, PostNord, have become embroiled in the strike led by IF Metal, a union representing mechanics in Sweden. The automaker has refused to sign a collective agreement with employees there, breaking with national labour practices. That's what people say. Now, is Tesla actually breaking the law? No, it's just not kind of conforming to what the union does. And to be honest, the union does have a lot of power in Sweden. Most companies have been kind of put in this position as well, and they've been forced to unionize. One of them that's apparently fighting it is Spotify. Spotify currently in a similar situation to Tesla. Since this happened, numerous unions have taken action against Tesla out of sympathy for the mechanics. Among them, PostNord has refused to deliver mail or packages addressed to or from Tesla from the country. Now here's what Tesla said in Sweden. Through this unprecedented action, the Swedish Transport Agency has become a deeply harmful instrument in the labour market conflict, which affects Tesla, and above all, it affects Tesla's employees and customers. Now that was from Tesla's Swedish subsidiary, and it wrote this in a legal complaint. It demanded, Tesla said last week, that the court fine the agency $95,000, which is really not very much when you think about it. And in addition, it wants to be able to pick up the plates and documents from the agency while the case is tried. Now, apparently, in a preliminary hearing, Tesla has already won. So apparently, the court has said that it's illegal what these arms of government are doing, and they can't continue to do this. In addition, though, Tesla has filed a lawsuit against PostNord Sweden, or the post service in Sweden, demanding that the court compel it to deliver the mail. The parcel service has argued that its right to strike counts as force majeure, allowing it to pause shipments to Tesla without violating its social mission. Apparently it has a social mission. However, Tesla argues that the force majeure is not regulated in its agreement with PostNord, so it is wrong to use it as a justification. PostNord has taken an active decision to baselessly decide that force majeure would exist, and thus deliberately made itself a harmful instrument in the labour market conflict, said Tesla. This action is so remarkable that it is unprecedented in the Swedish labour market history. I'm kind of curious to know whether or not this is a bit of an attack from possibly fossil fuels behind the scenes, because they do appear to be going, there's other companies in Sweden that have resisted some of these union agreements, and they haven't been targeted the same way that Tesla has. So why is it that Tesla's being targeted more so than others? Is it to make them a public example, or is it because of what they represent, which is a transition away from internal combustion to electric cars? Kind of getting rid of fossil fuels. I mean, is that something that possibly there are some, big businesses, oil companies behind the scenes kind of doing a bit of manipulation here? Possibly, I don't know. But what are your thoughts? In addition to this, on Friday, members of the IF Metal Union at Hydro Extrusions in Norway announced that they would stop making crucial parts for the automaker. So this is a completely separate company, Hydro Extrusions. They are a company set up in Norway, and basically they're saying they're not going to ship parts to Tesla. Like I said before, I mean, I understand if they want to support a strike. I don't think it'll be beneficial for them in the long run, though, in terms of their financial situation. And if you're a business and you don't make tons of money, that's probably something that you should consider. Anyway, the company is the only supplier of specialized aluminium alloy components in Europe, not in China, but in Europe, which go into Tesla vehicles produced in Germany. It has become the first supplier to announce that its members will put down their tools in protest against Tesla's refusal to sign a collective agreement with Sweden's mechanics. So it's an interesting position that Tesla are in here. They're being held hostage by various companies. Essentially, this company in Norway is trying to sabotage Tesla's ability to make electric cars in Germany. Whether they're right or wrong, I don't know. I mean, hey, guys, I think maybe Tesla should sign it, but I would not sign this if I was Tesla, because basically people are just, it's like getting a gun held to your head, saying sign this or else. To me, that's not the rule of law. That's not what we see as democracy. This is definitely not democracy. Whether or not you agree that these mechanics have a claim, I haven't really seen much about this, actually, about what they're even saying. It hasn't really been reported. It's sort of like brushed over. So maybe they do have a legitimate claim. But the right way to go about this is not to break the law. It's not to, illegally hold Tesla's license plates and to try to blacklist companies to try to prevent them from supplying Tesla with products for their cars. The right thing to do here is to negotiate, and that could be publicly. There's various ways they could do this. But personally, I got to agree with Elon Musk, and I think that's why a lot of people are saying, we think Elon's a bit sometimes a little bit crazy, but in this case, he's right. This is insane. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think. Bye-bye.